A lot of people don't know what it felt like going to the airport after 9/11.
That's real, bro. Yo,
I was anxious as fuck.
shave that beard, bro. Shave that beard.
Yo, for real. I remember being intimidated by like a little girl working at Air Canada. I'm like, I was like giving my passport.
We're just checking your luggage.
I'm giving my passport. I'm like shaking.
That's
She's
funny,
like,
man.
oh, what the fuck? Okay, yeah, you could pass, whatever. In my mind, I have no idea. I'm just a little brown boy with a Gap sweater on, you know?
Hold up, Felicia. Hey, stop bumming my phone. My phone blowing up. Come on, you need to go home. Get out. Call me Felicia. High school romance. Now you got a boyfriend. Come on, and I'm still a drug addict. Hold up. I need a fucking blow up. I need a fucking bang. I need some fucking rain. I need a bang.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pool Boy Show.
This is episode 28 off air. I was saying how this is such a huge milestone because a lot of podcasts don't make it to episode 20. Actually, 50% quit by the time they're at episode 3.
You know, I want to take the time to, thank all of our fucking supporters. You guys are definitely some badass motherfuckers. I want to thank Jam, Khalil, for being here with us today.
Thank you.
You know, after an hour bus ride,
That's cool.
probably...
It's a beautiful day, man.
It is a beautiful day, you know? Finally in Montreal, we're getting a bit of good weather. Because for fuck's sakes, bro, I can't stand this goddamn wintertime bullshit, bro. Any longer.
Yeah, wintertime sadness for real. The winters in Montreal are pretty much a test for your psyche to not kill yourself in Montreal. So everybody goes through this. It's like...
We're like built for stressful situations here in Montreal. Montreal. Like the cold, it makes you survival mode. You know,
it's crazy.
Like, have you ever lived in a place that, like, if you go outside without a coat, you might die?
Yeah, you definitely die.
You know?
You definitely die, but it makes you appreciate summer a lot more. Though.
Yes.
Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely.
It's why you see everybody outside. As soon as the sun comes out, everybody's outside.
Yeah, bro. I had my girlfriend's mom from Virginia come to visit us. This past week, it was maybe like 14 degrees, not too warm, you know.
Yeah.
But she was wearing a coat, and she was like, "Oh my God, you Montreal, everybody's wearing shorts and shit. It's like 11 degrees, raining. People are in shorts and flip flops. Fuck it, you know. I ain't going back to wearing my jacket.
No,
Fuck that shit.
that's the culture. Like as soon as it's little good weather.
Tiniest bit.
But that's cool, but also it's like dangerous because as soon as the sun is out, summer's back, then you feel so good. You're so happy. You don't know why.
so
right? But then you get a bad day of rain or whatever, a bad weather, and you
crash.
Yeah, you just get depressed. And you're just like, what's happening with me?
Yeah.
And like it's almost like we're dependent
On the weather.
on the weather. Yeah.
And some people, like, sometimes for me, it's like the weather is nice, just got out of winter, weather's nice, still feel depressed. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me, you know?
Do you step outside? Do you have days where you just stay inside?
No, I need to step outside.
I have to.
I have to. But, you know, apparently it's like very important to get just sunlight. Even if it's a rainy day, you know, you can't see the sun. There's still some UV light or whatever that like hits your skin and shit. And apparently being behind a window doesn't do the same thing. You need to absolutely, because it filters out these like types of lights, you know? And it's very important, you know?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Like there's been mornings during the winter where you wake up and you're just anxious. And there was this neuroscientist, I believe by the name of something Huberman.
Andrew Huberman,
Andrew
dude.
Huberman,
I
he's
listen
so
to his
good.
podcast every single fucking
What's
night,
it about?
bro.
Who's this guy?
So Andrew Huberman is an ophthalmologist, and he has a podcast, and he's extremely knowledgeable about a whole bunch of shit. Like last week's episode was about how does memory work? So like how to forget or remember certain events and how that mechanism works. And the week before that was about sunlight and how it affects your body and stuff. Dude, this guy
it's just nerd shit.
Nerd shit, bro. But he's been on the Joe Rogan podcast, and when I first saw him on the Joe Rogan podcast, I'm like, wow, this man is so knowledgeable, and sometimes you're for the people that are in university or maybe like a C-drip or whatever who have had like great teachers, that like are able to like that know their thing like so well, that are able to like make you passionate about something. This man does the exact same thing. Like everything that he talks about, he knows about it. And it's fantastic. This guy's like amazing.
Probably does it better than a lot of the teachers, and you can probably learn more from podcasts like these.
Exactly. I was sure that his podcast was edited because I only listened to the audio version, but then I saw the video version and I'm like, oh my God, this guy's like off the top.
He's just spitting straight
bar. And like the video is just basically him like looking at you.
Camera,
What?
It's crazy.
Yeah,
I don't know this guy.
Yeah, what I took away from him is that he talks about like how it's so important in the morning to have sunlight touch your retina, your
retina,
eyeball, your retina, and how that like activates or your nervous system, or like it reduces the amount of anxiety you have in the morning. Because a lot of times I wake up in the morning, I'm like, fuck, I have to try to become successful. And I'm like, I start the day like panicking and like drinking coffee and like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? More
and more, bro. I wake up in the morning, I look at my phone, I'm like, I'm having a panic attack.
That's the thing. That's something else I do in the mornings now. I don't look at my phone.
It's hard, bro.
It's hard.
Don't look at your phone, bro. Because you know why? The first dopamine hit that you give your brain is what you're going to be addicted to throughout the day. So if you get notifications and you're addicted to always wanting notifications throughout the day, so you're distracted throughout the whole day.
I'm a bitch for notifications. I'm a bitch for like that dopamine hit. Like if I post something and it gets love, I'm like, I'm having a great day.
Because you're an artist though.
Yeah.
I feel like I need that attention and I'm like so dependent on it. And it's like, it's hard to put a finger on it, but like, it's so noticeable. Like when I get when I get that attention.
Yeah, but like it's the curse we have as artists. I feel you don't have a choice because it's like, well, maybe you do, but what I mean is that it's your job, So it's like when you get attention, you're getting your money up. When you don't get attention, you're not being like. So it's like not normal people, but I mean like people who are not artists or content creators. They already feel this stress. So imagine adding this to like, okay, I got to pay rent. And it's related directly to your social media performance, And so I feel the same, but like I know for a fact that if I wasn't doing music or art, I just wouldn't be posting because it's so toxic,
exactly. But you see that often, like people that don't post anything that like follow 3,000 people and that have 3 followers. And I'm like, your life is basically like scrolling and like listening to other people and whatever.
But maybe it's just better. Your mental health might be better off just consuming than creating. Because creating, I feel like it's a double-edged sword in the sense that like, let's say you post your work. If it gets validation, you're distracted throughout the day. So people comment, people engage with your content.
You just be refreshing all day.
So you're engaging and you're staring at your phone throughout the day. If it doesn't get it, you're self-conscious.
One of my dreams is to like deactivate notifications on like TikTok or Instagram.
That's what I did though.
I don't have it on TikTok.
It's like so popping.
You could do that, man.
Yeah, of course you can, but I'm not popping like that. But like I know people that post something and they're like, okay, I need to deactivate my because it's gonna blow up. You know.
Okay, I know. But I feel like we're all notification little totties.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I think we all are.
I just turned them off on my phone. Like for every app, is no notifications on my phone. Like except maybe text, because like if I get a text, might be something important. But like for like Instagram or TikTok or whatever, I just turn it off. But like this is the first step, but it's not. You don't solve all your problems like that. Because I just, if I post something, I don't have notifications. I'm still on my phone, refreshing, checking what's up, But at least it's not like...
Like ding, ding, ding,
yeah,
ding,
exactly.
ding, ding.
Yeah.
I think there's some key takeaways that we could take from Prophet Rogan. Prophet Rogan said he doesn't talk about his lady life on the podcast. Not much.
Okay.
Like he keeps his like romantic life, I guess.
Family life.
Yeah, family life more private. He's very private about that. Like I have no idea what his wife looks like, what his kids look like, or whatnot. That I take away from that. Something else I take away
Because you
is-
don't have a wife and you don't have a kid.
Yeah, but exactly. Nobody knows what they look like.
You don't know what they look like.
I don't know what they look like. Okay, so that's one takeaway. The second takeaway is don't read comments, which I am.
Dude,
I do.
Read all the comments.
I read every single comment just because there's only two.
Yo.
There's like
No, but-
there's like
yeah.
some comments that I'm like, because yo guys at home, we could take off the comments if we wanted to, but we keep them there because we think that it's important to have a conversation in the comment section, you know.
Absolutely.
But
I learned that the hard way also. Because, you know, when I went on TV and it's a competition and people commenting and like, and you know, when you have to go through it the first time, somebody says some bullshit about you and you have to handle it yourself.
you went through it like the hard way. So like for the people at home, explain like what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, but like say your name and then say like
Yeah. All right. So I don't want to talk about it too much because
Yeah.
I'm going to start talking about that on every single interview I do. And I want to, you know, put that aside because I really don't give a fuck. But I'll talk about it quick. So my name is Jamil, right? So at first, so people my whole life have called me Jam, you know, because that's like my nickname. And so at first that was my artist name. And I do rap, you know, I do francophone rap in Quebec. And there was this other artist before me that had that name. And Jam.
Who is like 20 years
Well
older.
known?
Yeah, a lot older than me, you know. And
Well
me-
known, not like
Like
not,
in the
not a
community,
in the rap community.
in the rap
Exactly.
community. But okay, so you went on the show and it's Jam versus Jam. Is that what
No,
happened?
he wasn't even there.
Oh, he wasn't there.
even there. It's just like the
Oh.
community started going wild at me just because I'm
You have
called
the same
Jam,
name.
you know?
Oh, okay,
But
I
like
see.
the thing is, it's like they assume that I know about those people and that
Yeah.
I've listened to, but like as a young kid, I grew up, like I started getting into rap because like my big brother, he's like 30, I think 34, right? He was playing hip hop, you know, home when I was a kid. But like as a brown kid, you don't like, especially back then, you don't bump, you wouldn't bump rap like Quebec
rap,
yeah,
exactly.
So I got into rap with like, I don't know, New York, East Coast, West Coast, French, booba, you know, all that stuff. So to me, it wasn't natural for me to know about this whole community.
Right.
So I started rapping because I was looking at these heroes and I wanted to be like them, you know? But then I figured out, it's crazy because then when I started doing this like professionally, I figured out, okay, there's actually a whole community here of people doing that. But when I first started, I was just unaware of that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So all that to say, I just took my name because like that's
Yeah.
my fucking name, you know?
Yeah.
And
These
so I-
OGs were like,
they were mad at me. They
Yeah.
got mad at me, you know? So and their little clique and community and, you know, people in the comments, they started, you know, it's like with hate online, it goes further. It always goes further than the actual problematic, you know? So at first it's just the name, but then it goes like, then they're looking for shit like, oh, that was bad. That was shit. That was
Yeah,
da, da,
yeah,
da,
yeah.
da, da, da. And it's like, you're always, I feel like you're always
because you went from 0 to 100 real quick.
so quick,
Yeah,
bro.
because basically like it's a TV show. What's it called?
La fin des faibles. End of
La
the
fin
week.
des faibles. And you were on the first season.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you were the winner of that season.
Yeah.
And then when people saw that, they were like, "Yo, we need to, you know, break them in some way, you know, like and like
Not everyone though. I gotta
no,
say,
exactly.
not
But
everyone.
you have like a big following, and like
Yeah.
and your show's amazing. We've
Yeah.
already played together with Clan
Yeah, that was
Friends.
dope.
It was super dope, and like you have a live band and stuff, and
Yeah.
like very talented. We've already made music
you.
in the basement together.
We're gonna make more.
Yeah, we're gonna make more. And I spoke to a rapper called Mef.
Okay.
Le Mef. I don't know if you know Le Mef.
I'm not sure. No.
He was just like, yo, don't tell me you did a session with Jam. Oh my God. And then he was like, just like, you know, saying the same rhetoric of like all these OGs and like, yo, he's just stealing a name. I'm like, you guys realize it's much more than a fucking name? What do you think is this man like biting all your bars? Like, no, he's not. You know what I'm
but,
saying?
You know, I don't know who that guy is. It's for a reason, you know.
But we're gonna have him on. We're gonna have him on. But yeah, just going back to what you were saying, like the hate online is wild.
No, yeah. So it's just, you know, I'm not fighting anybody. I'm just like, bro, I'm just doing my shit, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to make music and do shit I love. And
But whoever makes it is like polarizing. Like you get love and hate. Like
Yeah,
you can't be in the middle.
Absolutely. And I think it was good for me because like it actually got people surprised. So that that little problematic or whatever that issue they had with me, that little little thing, it got actually people surprised. Like, no way, he actually
he could spit.
He actually won.
Yeah, you won the competition
with that name, So for them it was surprising. But a lot of people were also approached me in a in a more like kindly way of just like, we feel awkward about that and maybe you should consider it. And, I respect that. That's cool.
So did you end up changing your name or you're
Yeah, I just added my mom's last name, Khalil. So now it's like, like I'm going to be called Jamil my whole life. My name is Jam forever. So I can't really do much about it. Even if I was called Pop-Tarts or whatever, I'd still be Jam, So it is what it is. But I'm not really, I try really not to be angry about it or because I was at some point. I felt hurt about it a lot. I felt scared also like, oh shit,
am I going to get jumped?
Yeah, no, not jump, but like, is it really like, am I really doomed because of my name?
Yeah.
It was crazy, I felt, and it was COVID and it was bless you. It's a lot of stuff. But I felt a lot of shit, but now I just try to be, positive about it and just like, I changed, I'm just doing my thing. I'm not trying to fight anybody. Just
for sure.
If you want to make music with me, let's do it. If you don't, and you're like, you shouldn't make music with this guy, then don't. Just let me do my thing and we're good,
Fucking people commenting like just like trolls,
Yeah. So all that to say, I didn't even want to talk about that situation. I'm so done talking about that. But just like handling whatever hate you get online,
exactly.
It's just you need to go through it once to be like, okay, there's nothing I can do. What am I gonna start fighting everybody?
Am I gonna stop making music?
Yeah.
Like so that's not an option.
Yeah, exactly. Because I do what I love, and I know what I like. I know it connects with certain people.
Exactly.
I know kids are actually like I go in high schools and perform and coach kids to write raps and everything, and I know that I don't care if it's like 100 kids. If these if that 100 if these kids connect with what I do and I inspire them and they can like do stuff that will change I don't know, that will have an influence, change your life or whatever. Yeah, like I gotta keep doing it. I can't focus on like this guy on TikTok being like, yo, that rap was whack. Like, all right, bro, like cool.
Yeah. It's easy to get caught up in that shit.
Yeah. But so that's what I try to do. I try to so as you said, don't read comments. And if I read them, I just try to be like detached from it and be like, okay, I got cousins in Lebanon living through real shit, I got family living through real shit. I know that the world is big and a lot of stuff is happening in the world. So you spend your time trying to knock me down off some like positive shit I'm trying to do. It's like
I spend my time trying to make music.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
and that's that.
So you have an album dropping in a couple of days, yeah?
Yeah, June 10th. It's like in 2-3 weeks. Yeah.
How long have you been working on this thing?
So it's like 2 years on and off, and for the past year, like very, very in a disciplined way.
Because you got it going on like ever since like you have like that type of exposure and stuff.
I got a grant also.
Amazing.
So I made a music video, like big music video with special effects and stuff.
Ooh, special effects.
Like, go watch the video. It's called Triomphe. It's a dope.
So all your music is in French?
For now.
Then you're gonna transition?
I'm not gonna transition, but I will explore English at some point. I like there's many reasons why I started in French, but I feel like it was just natural because I went to school in French. Most of my friends are francophones.
Okay, you're very well spoken in English. So you think that you're a better wordsmith in French, or do you think you're equally good at both?
I think I'm better in French just because I read more.
Right.
I read a lot in French. But for sure,
he pulled up in the studio with a book.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna ask you about that. I'm like, what does your creative process look like in the sense that like, I try to read and write like 30 minutes a day.
Yeah.
Just because I want to become a better podcaster.
Yeah.
Now, you obviously have been rapping for a very long time. So, like, what did that look like? What got you very good at, like, articulating and being good with words?
Definitely reading. I feel like I'm just a also listening to a lot of rap and like rapping along, watching cartoons. I don't know, like watching shows, but like rapping along was a big thing for me. So I started listening to rap when I was very, very young, like, 50 and I don't know, Eminem and Kanye and French, like even if I was rapping along in English, it's like I learned the flow. I learned how to connect syllables. I learned all that stuff, right? Then I started listening to, I even back then I was listening to French rap, sorry. And so rapping along, reading, all that stuff. And then for the creative process, it goes, I think it's like, I'm just a very expressive person. I think a lot of people I think a lot of people think a lot, but don't necessarily need to express what they're going through, like in their minds. But I think I'm just figuring out that my whole life is just, if I got something on my mind, I need to express it for some reason, or it just get cluttered, and I don't feel good, So I just have to figure out what I'm trying to say, what I want to say, what I want to express. That's always the first step, and then I go through like, okay, so how does that sound musically? What are some words that pop up, I don't know, for a hook or a concept of the song, the album, whatever. So
right. Do you write your stuff, or do you go in the booth?
I write a lot.
You write?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. I write a lot. I can freestyle, obviously, but for like songs, I like to be like meticulous about it. And
when we had that session together, did you write it?
I wrote it next to you, bro.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. It's a beautiful rap.
Yeah, thanks.
Like I went in the garage and I cried a bit.
Is that real?
For real?
Yeah.
I thought I told you, but I went and I was
forgot.
like, man, it just reminded me of like my heritage, like where I come from and stuff. Like it's a song called Tapo, which is your skin, and like just the way that like what you express in that verse is like
I try to make it about, like, it's a love song at first.
Exactly.
But I try to make it about my skin, and what it represents in a love relationship with somebody who probably doesn't have the same skin.
Exactly.
But it's not about skin, you know what I mean?
Of course.
Because
you get it.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know what it felt like going to the airport after 9/11.
That's real, bro. Yo,
I was anxious as fuck.
Shave that beard, bro. Shave that beard.
Yo, for real. I remember being intimidated by like a little girl working at Air Canada. I'm like, giving my passport.
We're just checking your luggage.
I'm giving my passport. I'm like shaking.
That's funny, man.
Oh, what the fuck? Okay, yeah, you could pass, whatever. In my mind, I have no idea. I'm just a little brown boy with a Gap sweater on, you know?
But it's like your parents tell you about it.
Yeah, but
your parents are like, be careful when you go to airport, shut your mouth.
In my mind is, but I'm just a kid with a Gap sweater on, you know?
Yeah.
So in hindsight, I'm like, that was kind of ridiculous. I don't know why I had anxiety attacks.
Because,
well, bro, society, man.
Society tells you.
It'll fuck you up.
It's deep. It's really deep.
It is deep, man, and it goes to show how like the digital world is so not reflective of reality, and it's getting more and more obvious to me and more ingrained in my mind. Because just to shift for gears here, there was a shooter that an American shooter that went to a black neighborhood in the U.S. and he shot 10 people. Okay, recently. Yeah. And he would go on like dark websites, online, and he would feel this crazy like division and polarizing racism when he would go online, you know. And then he wrote before committing the act that he didn't feel that way in reality. Like he didn't feel racism in reality. He didn't feel polarized. He wasn't triggered or like attacked. But when he would go online, his idea in his forums, he would read that shit, and that would kind of fuel his ideologies and like his negative sentiment towards certain races and whatnot.
That's fucked.
He actually wrote it in his memoir, and then he does a live stream, and he fucking
that's fucked up.
And he goes in and kills innocent people, you know. Yeah. But it goes to show like that, like online is zero reflective of reality, because for the most part, every time you meet someone, for the most part, everybody's cool. Yeah, everybody's chill. Like very rarely do I meet someone that I'm like, yo, what the fuck was that? You know?
I think it's the anonymity,
Yeah.
the fact that you're
you're
like
hidden,
that you hidden,
Yeah, you're
that
hidden.
it just like it's very permissive. You could like become an asshole or become whatever the fuck just because, like, as a human being, you can't act like that in society. You're gonna get like ostracized. You're gonna get separated.
Yeah,
you
for
know,
sure,
it's impossible. You can't be like that. You know, and that's why honestly, I really feel like there should be more like control online. Like I think there should be more like accountability.
Yeah, but like you can't really. It's like online is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You know, at first it was like downloading MP3 online, and everyone went
Like, yo,
nuts.
the FBI is gonna come at your house.
Yeah, you're like, oh fuck.
But
Yeah,
like, no, but you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
at first, everyone was like, "What the fuck?" Like, everyone was panicking off like downloading
Music.
illegal shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then the more we move forward, the more it's like, okay, now we gotta. You can't control
anything,
anything,
anybody,
bro.
yeah.
It's crazy. And if you do, it has to be like it's controversial because like where does it start?
yeah.
Where does it end?
Yeah.
You know?
that the family of the shooter got a lot of heat because they're like it's the pandemic that caused him to feel isolated
Yeah.
and not receive any sort of affection or any sort of social interaction that drove him into a dark place.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you can argue against that. Is like that doesn't excuse what he did. You know, obviously not. Like he was racist.
Yeah.
He
of
went to a
course,
fucking
of
black
course.
store and shot people, you know, for no reason. He's still going through trial and shit.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna. What was weird that I don't know if you guys saw the footage, but when he pulled up at court, he was in a ripped apart. No, I don't want to say suit. He in an outfit that was ripped. Like you know those the shit that you wear when you go to the doctor when you're like butt naked underneath.
yeah.
He was wearing one of those white but like ripped apart.
What the fuck?
But I think he was trying to signal that I'm fucking crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know white people when they do shootings they're crazy.
They're crazy.
Brown people were terrorists.
Yeah.
You know there's a name for every race. You know. So he's gonna plead like probably like I'm fucking crazy, which actually leads me to another topic that's been hot online. A lot of girls have been sharing this. So the Canadian government passed a bill suggesting that you could plead autism if you were intoxicated while sexually assaulting another person.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Serena posted that.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, exactly. Serena posted that, which was a very good guess at the Pull Bush show. But I think
So basically, what this means is that, like, if you're drunk, you could say
Or intoxicated.
intoxicated, you could and commit an act of violence or
sexual assault.
Sexual violence. You could say that it's okay or like
No,
justified because
you
you're
could
drunk.
plead. You could plead for a word called autism, which I didn't know what it meant, but I looked it up. But apparently, it's something that happens where you're completely unconscious and something
Yeah.
happens to your brain where
Yeah.
you lose control. Like that happens
Yeah.
to certain people where they get like
I mean, music make me lose control.
Yo, don't kill me. Next time I'm in the booth.
this was obviously very concerning for girls and
Of
some
course.
some incels.
So
that-
this passed or it's in talks?
It's, well, I read about it. I
yeah.
read about it. It's like I try to not like for stuff like that get people that are, you know, I'm not a woman, so I can never understand how to feel about that, you know? So I try to just read and understand and, you know, just be aware of stuff. But I think it's what I read is it's like the cases they took is not alcohol. It's not like people drunk. It's like people like on shrooms, on like a very high dose of shrooms, going like it's not something like you say, oh, I was automatic, like I had
Yeah,
automatism or whatever. It's like they need to clinically, they need to like study what was
brain.
happening in
Yeah,
your
yeah,
brain,
yeah.
and with that dose of drugs or okay, you were going, but I don't know how. Like I'm not a scientist. I'm not like so.
No, but yeah, exactly. You have to prove it by a psychiatrist or the person
exactly.
that's scanning brains that you were actually on autism. And there's a way, I guess, scientifically of proving that your brain was on like on autopilot or whatnot.
But you could apply that to alcohol.
No, but the thing is,
I don't know.
What lawyers and politicians were saying. They were like, guys, calm down. There's a lot of fake news circulating online that you just have to be drunk or black out. in order to beat the shit out of a girl or like forcefully try to finger blast her. But that they were saying, don't worry, that's not the case. You have to scientifically prove that your brain was on this automism, which they call
Yeah. So I understand how that.
I don't see how that's possible though.
No, but to me, I'm like how
could,
good is science? Like you can say
shrooms, like they stay in your system for like days.
But apparently,
like you can't prove after the act that you were high on shrooms. Or whatever the fuck.
No, because there's a famous case of a guy who was drunk and on shrooms who kicked down a door and he, I think, beat the shit out of a woman or.
Was he naked or something? Like I read like cases like that, like really, insane stuff.
Like the guy was fucked up. He was on alcohol and shrooms, I think, for the first time, and he kicked down a door and he beat the shit out of someone or murdered. I don't remember what it was. Yeah. But all this to say that.
But I get how it's taken. I understand people reading that and being like, "Yo, what the fuck," But I tried to read more about it. I'll ask a couple of my lawyer friends about it. Just try to be aware. I think though, not to make it like particularly about this situation, but like when stuff like that happens, I think it's better to just try to understand what's happening. Before ask people that are like professionals and that know what's happening before like being
making an
afraid.
Opinion or whatever.
Yeah, or just like feeling afraid because you're gonna start being afraid of the world, of everything. And I try to make sense out of some shit doesn't make sense in life, but when stuff like that happens, I just try to, be really aware of what's happening to understand where I stand. And for that situation, like I read a little bit about it. I'm gonna ask more people about it, but for now, I'm not a fucking lawyer, man. I don't know.
I think it's kind of fucking. We've had this conversation, Sam and I, about like the nicest people when they start getting lit. They become, or like not the nicest people, but the most like the well put together people when they and like they have a crazy 9 to 5, like an amazing job. Like you get drunk with those people on the weekend on a boat, they become like sexual predators, or like weird ass motherfuckers.
These people just shouldn't drink, man. It's like it's sort of normalized. It's very normalized to say like, oh, I don't smoke weed. It's not for me, But in like, especially here, it's like if you say I don't drink, it's not for me. Everyone looks at you like, what? You don't drink? You fucking blah, blah, blah. Like, come on, man. Like, some people
don't drink,
and that's cool. Like, and I think a lot of those people drink. They probably know that they're
fucked up.
They shouldn't drink. They shouldn't drink. But it's so much like social pressure of drinking that you can't say, nah, I'm good. I don't want to drink.
I was like sober for a month, like 2 years ago or some shit like that. And like the amount of awkwardness that I was like, oh cool, like I stopped everything basically except for coffee. Yeah. And I would go out to bars and like I would like not drink or be at a party and not drink. And like what I noticed is that just having a glass of like juice or whatever just made it so much easier socially. Just because people were like, "What are you drinking?"
It's a big thing.
And I was like, nothing. And they're like, "What do you mean?" Especially in Quebec, bro. Like they sell alcohol at the depth. They sell alcohol everywhere, bro. It's fucking wild.
That's like, is that, but then when it comes to like something else, if it's like weed and then you're like, no, it's not for me. Everyone's just like, all right, that's cool. But like, what's the like?
Yeah, bro. Like
it's the same shit, bro. Yeah. And even alcohol probably killed a lot more people than weed ever will.
And alcohol probably has caused way more harm to people. Like
absolutely,
like bro, like people that smoke weed, they're not gonna go shoot up a place. They're gonna pass out in front of a Netflix video. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. So, but I think what helped to make it, about my personal experience. Like I come from a Muslim background, so I didn't drink anything before, like after high school, and that built a certain character. And I'm so grateful for that because it makes me like imagine being like 14, 15, right? And you're trying to be cool, right? Because you're a kid, you want to be cool. So you go to parties because I've always been social. As I said, I'm super expressive and stuff. And then people come to you and they're like, have a drink. And the cool kids, like, like imagine this movie or this cartoon where you got like 8 cool kids being like, yo, have a drink. And then you stand in front of them and you got to say, no.
Yeah.
I don't want it. And they're like, come on, have a drink. And you're like, no.
Because it's actually not cool. It's actually not.
Exactly. But
like for
you got to be like, You got to be like, no, I don't want. And it's like, the way I say it might sound like, okay, you're just refusing to drink. But when you're 14, 15, you come from, Muslim family, or you just don't drink, you don't want to drink. It's actually hard to just say like,
what pushed you to not drink?
I was just like, bro,
I'm good.
That's who I am. I don't drink, It's like my family doesn't drink. That's where I come from, So it was just like, because I've never been like super religious, but I just came from that background.
Yeah.
My whole life I saw probably my parents telling me like, bro,
forget that.
Don't drink. People get fucked up when they drink, blah, blah, blah. So I'm really grateful because it made me like, it made me like, first, I think people start drinking very, very early here, like too early. Like you're fucking 13 and puking, like, bro, what the fuck? Like your parents, what's up, bro?
I almost died, bro, when I was 14.
Yo, that's fucked up, bro.
Like 40s, 10.5.
Come on, man.
I was like. My friend's parents were like, bro, we were about to call the ambulance. Like, you were about to die.
Yeah, you were.
See, you're 14, bro. That's crazy.
He's 14. He's like 75 pounds.
You don't know how to drink.
No, you don't.
You
You shouldn't.
idea.
You like you.
And then you have like a couple friends that are like, yo, me, I drink all the time with my brother.
Yeah.
They had like
And like,
2
yo,
sips of
me
beer.
too.
Yeah, exactly. So you just do it for validation because alcohol here is a big thing for validation. But so that's what I'm saying. So imagine being that 14-year-old kid and being like, nah, I don't need your validation. So what does that build inside of you? It builds a confidence and a
identity, man.
identity. And it's like, now I can, it's more than alcohol. It's like, if I don't want to do something, I'm not going to do something. If I want to do something,
but
I will do something.
I wish I was like that because me, I'm not like that. Like I remember like growing up, I was a sober little boy, like 14 years old, and like people were like smoking weed, and I was like, yo, that shit sucks or whatever. I'm not, and like that lasted about a week and a half. And then like I started smoking weed with my friends and like just getting zero, like just like bad grades in school, just
man.
and like it really affected my life. But just because like people were doing it, like I'm a very influential person,
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
Yeah.
influential.
Or impersonable. Impersonable?
No,
People influence you.
Impressionable.
people-
Impressionable
yeah.
also.
But
can say
that's why I'm grateful for my background, but also I'm grateful for hip hop because rap gave me that ability of being like,
you could spit. You could be like, yo, I don't drink. I'm the beast.
no,
from
but
the
it's like
Middle East.
rappers all, like you're kidding, but like rappers all have that story of like I was the weird kid, but now I'm cooler than all the gangsters, all the people all the bullies, so that's how I felt when I was a kid.
Which is what I think is sad about rap today is like you have like this kind of like valorization of like bad habits of like doing drugs and things like that and
but at the same time it's people that come from, when it comes from a certain reality where you come from and you're trying to express it and hip hop is your outlet, and it's like people always like point a finger at the artist, but at the same time it's like labels, like you know how it works, man. Like big labels and like major labels, whatever. White guy in a suit takes this little black kid or brown kid, whatever, and that talks about drugs and guns, and then they're like, okay, talk about all that stuff. Be a violent kid, and we'll get your mom a house. We'll get that person. We'll get you out of your fucked up life. So how are you gonna blame an artist for
just like getting put on,
just doing that shit? Because that's his reality, and then it's like if you do that, we will change your life and also so I don't like, I do listen to that type of rap also, but I have this understanding of what the culture is and how how deep it goes and how
I just feel like it's like it got to a point where it went from like black communities
actually talking about the struggles.
And like being entrepreneurial about it and like selling drugs and like getting out of the hood
Jay-Z,
too, or like fucking Biggie,
Big,
like the 10 crack commandments, like these guys like literally telling you how to be a successful drug dealer, like don't get high on your own supply,
For sure.
It went from that entrepreneurial spirit to go to the pharmacy, get some lean, put it in some Sprite, get fucked, forget about your life. That I feel is a different scenario.
Of course, but it's deeper than. So what I'm trying to say is that I when you have empathy and you try to put yourself in other people's shoes, is the way. It's like what I'm trying to say is that I understand these artists. We're not that far from these artists. Like if you were in their position, you'd probably do the exact same shit. You know what I mean? So when they promote, they're not really thinking like, oh, I'm promoting stuff for kids to get super high. And I think they're just trying to, you know, get heard and express themselves and get out there and also like change their lives, you know? And it's deeper than just the artist and the music. It's like, dude, it's a big societal problem, and the people that are making the most money out of it are not these kids.
Yeah,
you understand what I mean? It's not the rapper that's making the most money out of it. The rapper doesn't have ownership on anything.
And most of the people consuming the music don't come from the same background.
Exactly.
Most of the people consuming the music are white kids driving their dad's pickup.
And they think it's funny and
yeah,
all
and they
that.
think it's cool, and like their lives get ruined.
So that's why I try to like I have a lot of conversation about music and hip hop and everything, and people are like, how can you support an artist that does that or says this or whatever? And you know, I try to use empathy a lot and be like, okay, well, put yourself in that kid's shoes.
For example, like I used to record like rappers that used to talk about you know, prostitution, that like just being a bit sexist on their shit, whatever. And like I had these talks with like my childhood friends, women, that were like, how do you feel about like promoting that shit? I'm like, my argument was like, I make music. I make music. I put myself in these situations. It's already hard enough. I'm brave to express myself and the realities of my things. And then I realized I'm like, I'm not going through. I'm recording these people like, and when I was given the opportunity to have a choice on who I was going to record, and like, it's I don't want to be associated
for sure
to somebody who raps about killing his girlfriend or raping his girlfriend or whatever it is. Like it's like, no matter how many, like you could put it on like, oh, art, it's art, or like, oh, like you know, but
it's not an excuse necessarily.
But it's not an excuse. Like I wasn't raised like that, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. But like that's real. But like it depends also where. Like it's like, where does the violence come from that person's expressing? Is it just because it's cool to be violent? If that's the case, then fuck that person, you know? I'll never be violent I've never been like violent, misogynistic, homophobic, whatever in my lyrics, because I didn't grow up like that. I didn't grow up in that violence. I didn't grow up in the streets. I didn't grow up around drugs. So I'm not gonna start pretending that. But as soon as you start playing, you know, pretending, that's when, like, anyways, like people, the culture is gonna point you out.
Exactly. But the thing is, as a producer, you're not rapping about these things. You're a nerdy kid making fire beats,
of course,
right? And then you have like some guy from the hood rapping, and then like immediately you become associated with that like thing, and like it's not necessarily you, but like at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to. When I was a kid, I took every opportunity that came to my door. You know what I'm saying?
That's cool.
And I'm like, oh, this is the song I record. I can't show this shit to my mom. I can't even show this shit to my sister. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like really hard shit. Like, it's like
for sure. But I like, all I'm trying to say is that sometimes the violence that is expressed by rappers that come from very, very harsh realities is a reflection of what they're living. And that's when like people get confused. Like a reflection doesn't necessarily means you're okay. So this is the violence I'm going through. Sometimes it's just like how you talk, you know, what you say, and why are these rappers being violent in their lyrics? Because that's how life works. If you grow up in a violent environment, you will become violent.
Exactly.
That's
and then
life.
And you have your story, and like it's like it's like
but I understand like it's not me, so I'm not trying to make that music, but that makes sense. But I'm just saying, like, if somebody is in a very, very different reality from yours and expressing stuff that is hard for you to associate with, like maybe try to understand where does the violence come from.
Exactly.
And if it comes from the wrong place, then that's super whack. And
but like, again, most people listening to gangster rap and all this shit are white kids that are in university. You know what I'm saying? So that is the problem, bro. Like these guys are like acting like gangsters. They've never seen shit.
But it depends. Yeah, like those are the people listening. But as I said earlier, like who's profiting the most off of this violence being sold to those kids?
Yeah,
it's like record labels and and so it's very hard to put responsibility on
the artist. Of course not. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Anyways, we're gonna take a little break.
what I liked about Jordan Peterson is that not only he's obviously intellectual and he's extremely interesting to listen to, but he actually told men to take responsibility for their life. Like his self-help message is just like, listen, man, if things aren't working out, it's not all the women in your life are horrible. It's not like everything around you that's horrible. It's like, yo, take responsibility, man.
Yeah, that's
like,
cool.
Like he had that was his core message for like
But
his self-help perspective.
Absolutely. But he still has a lot of a conservative. He's a conservative. He's a conservative person, right?
I don't care about that.
Yeah, honestly. I don't care about that. But you could be conservative in it, and that's okay too, you know?
Of course. But I'm just saying, like, it's not necessarily my point of view.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, disagreeing and not, like, you don't have to agree with.
You don't have to subscribe to everything. Yeah, you don't have to. Yeah, and you could disagree with him.
And it's cool to disagree, because if we all agreed, it, like, what's the
it
point?
wouldn't make sense. Like even on this podcast, if we all agreed on the same thing, it wouldn't make sense, right?
Yeah.
And this is the point of the Pool Boy Show, guys. Having conversations, you know, fucking
fighting, insulting each other.
Yeah,
fuck you.
Getting wild.
In a very respectable manner. But all this to say that he recently surfaced, and this is where I think he slipped up, because before this, I really felt like his arguments were valid, relatable. I could see his perspective. I could relate to what he's saying. But this is where I think he slipped up, because he posted the picture of a Sports Illustrated model of the year or whatever,
wild,
which is a chubby girl.
Okay,
she's a chubby bigger girl.
Does she do sports?
I'm not sure what she does, but she's a bigger girl, and he posted it. Apparently, allegedly, okay?
Yeah.
So he posted the picture of the Sports Illustrated girl who's a bigger girl, and he said something along the lines of this is not reflective of beauty, and something along the lines of authoritarianism is not going to change my view of beauty standards. Something along those lines. Now don't quote me exactly.
So you basically said that a chubby or fat woman was not the standard
a beauty standard,
like not beautiful,
and that we're being enforced this new ideology of beauty
but you get what
by
I'm saying,
the fucking government,
bro.
which is where I think he slipped up. Okay, me being a Jordan,
but he
Peterson
does that
fan,
with a lot of stuff.
No, but
because we're forced to. Because, bro, I'm sorry, I cut you off,
go
but
for it.
it's just like we get forced to like everything, bro. Everything, like, think about it. You get forced to enjoy some, like, you get fed images. You've been fed images your whole life. Skinny has been in your face your whole life. It's the same thing. It's just that when it doesn't like feeds his view of what the world is, he disagrees with it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and he ended up quitting Twitter because he received obviously a lot of.
Oh, he left Twitter.
Yeah, he left Twitter.
He left
as of today. Today, what day are we? I'm not sure. We're sometime in May 20th, I believe.
Oh my God, he left.
So
Twitter.
he left Twitter because he received a lot of backlash, and you could definitely make the argument that not only that beauty is subjective, but that the government has no say in what Sports Illustrated is going to publish. You know, so it is.
What's the government thing? I don't get the government thing.
He's saying that it is some sort of
government conspiracy,
overpowering government imposing ideologies that's gonna try to convince us that that being fat is okay. And he's like, I refuse to agree with that.
But like, you agree
idea.
with the whole, like, it's like you agree with everything else you're fed all the time. You know, is like he doesn't
what
agree
do you mean
with
by
that.
we. Like he or
But just everyone, like everything.
no, but he is super anti-government. He's like he's always speaking against it.
I know, but what I'm saying is thinking skinny is beautiful.
You think we've been
it's the same
conditioned?
thing.
Okay, no, but
you're conditioned. Yeah.
You're suggesting that we've been conditioned to believe that skinny is beautiful.
Yeah,
it's not
for sure.
biological. I don't know. I am attracted to smaller girls. Now, have I been conditioned or is it biological? I don't even know.
I mean,
I would have to.
I mean,
dig
there was
deep.
a time in history where I don't remember. I think it's in Europe, Middle Ages, whatever. I'm not a historian, but I do.
Chubby wubbies were loved.
Yeah, because it showed the riches.
Oh,
Yeah.
it showed that they were wealthy.
They were
So
wealthy.
it
They
was-
were able to have a child and like feed
Yeah.
the child.
No,
and
I know
stuff.
that big thighs are biologically like big thighs. Like seeing a girl with like nice thighs is a biological sign of like fertility. That I know.
Yeah,
For
but
men-
like I
for
think
men.
I think what Jam is trying to say is that like depending on which like the time that you live in, society like had different
Imposes beauty
views.
standards.
Like and like back at like let's say in the 1600s, everybody was broke as fuck, couldn't like whatever eat. You know, you saw one chubby wubby
You're
girl,
like,
you're like,
"Damn,
yo,
girl."
I'm a build a family with this woman. You know what I'm saying? Whereas like at some point, you know, France they made it like illegal for like a certain type of woman to be a model.
Yeah.
For like two women that were too skinny,
Yeah.
it's like not legal anymore to be like on a poster, you know, because it incited too much like anorexia or whatever, you know.
It's a problem for girls.
And I feel like it's almost like in the United States, it's like genre, we're like putting so much value on like body positivity and stuff, and it's like maybe we're losing a bit of like, hey, try to not have a heart attack. Try to not be like overweight, because being overweight
it's a problem. It's a problem.
Of course.
there's a correlation between that and like a lot of health problems. You
Yeah,
know?
there
A lot of
is.
people that died of COVID were like overweight and stuff,
Yeah.
you know? So like the idea that like we're I don't want to I don't think we should promote it. And I think that the fact that he said that is wrong, you know,
Yeah.
because he uses the word beauty. Personally, I am very attracted by
To
bigger
chubby
women.
wubba as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
But the difference is with you know, with the overweight part, I think you might be right about like losing a bit of like the health conversation, but it's just that I think it's in the perspective is just like if you want to lose weight, it should be for your health, for yourself, because you want, you know what I mean, and not for other people validation.
beauty standards.
So when you do body positivity and everything, you're encouraging people to encourage that and be like, yo, you know what? You look perfect the way you are, right? And I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, but I do believe you can still say like you can still encourage somebody to be healthy and not look at them the wrong way because they look different from
They
you.
look different.
You know?
Of course.
But yeah, I think it's safe to say to promote women that are like anorexic. No, what's the word?
Anorexic.
Anorexic, sorry, and women that are chubby. They're both maybe not the best thing for.
Health.
Yeah, they're both not good.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but think about the difference of being overweight men and overweight. Both are unhealthy, and overweight women.
Yeah,
right?
women are encouraged to
Both-
be. It's okay to be loved as being overweight, but men, there's no campaign saying that a fat man.
That's
should be
true,
loved.
but that's deep, bro. But that's because like the way a woman looks,
objectified.
yeah, it's a lot. Like I feel like it's true. There's no campaign for
fat men.
for
There's
sure.
no such thing.
However, fat men might have a lot more opportunities, and like you don't look like when you look at a man that's chubby or whatever, you don't think
less of them.
less of them.
Oh,
I feel
yeah?
like that. I feel
Yeah,
like
because maybe because we're seeing
you can
it
be
through the
funny,
eyes.
you can be
We're,
you know?
yeah, it's true that men are valued differently than
Than
their,
just
their
that's what I'm
their
trying to
look.
say.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true. It's true that men are valued differently than
you
their
can
look.
find something else. But if you're but in a woman, I feel like we stop there.
Yeah, exactly.
We just stop there.
Yeah, if a girl is fat, it's a hard time for her. I think
We just stop there, which
maybe-
sucks. So that's why there's campaign. Obviously, there's always money involved, and like people want to see that now, so people will, big brands or whatever, they're gonna do whatever people are gonna buy into, right? Obviously, there's a part of that, but maybe it also comes from, maybe we shouldn't just stop there. And-
But like as much as I agree like that we do
Objectify women.
objectify women and we're very superficial. Okay.
Yeah.
As a society, we're very superficial. Like the whole foundation of this capitalist system induces a lot of anxiety and stress onto us to perform and to become successful, which creates a lot of anxiety and depression. Because if you're not successful by a certain age, in your mind, you're like, "Fuck, I'm a failure," and that type of thinking will like create a domino effect towards you feeling zero self-worth. I think that in itself is very damaging to society. And that's why the rate of suicide has been extremely high. Like it's just increasing with time, you know what I mean? There's a lot of pressure on people to be successful, to look a certain way, to perform good. Everybody wants to be successful. So it's like, there is a underlying feeling that the way that we set up the game is flawed. You know what I mean? Like you could be valued in different ways.
I just think it's crazy that like so much attention is like brought to like the way you look.
Yeah.
It is, but at the same time, I'm like the other day, I went on a hike with my friends, okay, and one of my best friends, like he was wearing like high school clothing, like those gym shorts from basketball with those like silver linings, and and it was bothering me, and I'm like, why does it bother you? They're like, why the fuck does it bother you?
Why do you
like,
care so much?
Yeah, what do you care so much about what other people think? And I was battling that with myself as we're taking the hike. I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with me? You know, like why am I fixated on like how how you dress up?
I love fashion. You know, I love
fashion
streetwear,
too.
I love dressing well and shit. But that's me, you know, and I do it because, as I said earlier, very earlier in the podcast, I'm an expressive person, and like the way I dress and the way I, you know, that's why I like sneakers. That's why I like, it's just like an expression of myself.
The way you feel.
Yeah, but some people, as I said when I said that, don't need to express themselves so
Bro,
much.
like I've realized this like when I toured the deep parts of Quebec, like people don't dress nice, but they're the most interesting people. You know? The people that look like alcoholics are actually like fucking geniuses, you know, like they run the fucking company or whatever, you know, but it's just the standards are different, you know?
Yeah, I'm like, how much of my brain has been conditioned and how much is it biological? Like when I see a smaller girl than me, like I'm like, have I been conditioned to like this smaller petite girl? Or am I
when I see a bigger woman, I'm like,
oh yeah, it hits.
I'm like,
bro, like it's a lot of that, and that's why maybe I feel a bit awkward about Jordan Peterson's. Like, you don't have the answer. You don't have the answer, Sway. No, you don't have the answer to like.
You don't have the answer, Sway.
You ain't got the answer. No, but
it's true. Science can't explain and like to
everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Just accept being just. I don't know.
I think the problem or like the dangerous thing with Jordan Peterson is like the fact that he is so educated and literate makes it seem that like everything he says
will be true.
Will be true.
That's
you know?
what I don't like, and the way young men feed into that, and they're like, "Oh my god, that's the truth."
Yeah, exactly.
No, bro,
and
like
I think there's missing maybe a little bit of conversation, a little bit of discourse. Like if I could see or be exposed to another intellectual, educated person with a different opinion, it could just help people, bro. Like the internet is already fucked up as it is.
No, but we need those. We need those polarizing people to see all the sides, you know, of like humanity and different perspectives, and like we for sure need them as part of the conversation.
We'll see how this whole situation plays out, honestly. But
of course you need people talking and stuff. But you said you didn't hear the new Kendrick album, right?
No,
because it's kind of a lot about
what's happening,
but in relation to Black people and Black culture, you know. And there's a song that's making a lot of noise right now. It's like a couple arguing.
Yeah,
I don't know if you heard about it. Yeah, that's the chorus. That's the hook of the song, you know. And it's I don't know. It's so well, like as I told you, like I need to listen so much to that album to figure out everything he's saying. But I feel like is at the end of the day, it's like we all have to live together, you know.
Yeah.
And
there's a lot of contradiction, right? In that little segment,
it's crazy.
Like,
he says
you,
like
fuck you,
but
you,
at the end it's
fuck
like
me, and then it's like that is you could use that as a metaphor.
But
it
starts like that. It starts by saying, "This is how the world sounds." And the song starts.
Oh shit! I haven't heard it,
so go listen to that, bro.
Because I'm definitely gonna listen to it too.
Because that's what he's trying to say. It's like we get so polarized, and then everyone's like, "Fuck you, you're, you know, I'm tired of you." And she's like, "No, I'm tired of you. You were a douchebag." And she's like, and at the end, it's like, well, we kind of
need each other.
You know, but it's not done in a corny way. It's like
Kendrick never does it in a corny way.
It's so intense. It's so like, yo, what the fuck?
He's so artistic.
Section 80 was wild.
Everything he does is so dope, bro. It's what I'm trying to.
I saw his video with the deep fakes. They're so cool, and just the way he moves to his beat as he's rapping. I was like, that is done so perfectly in a non-corny way. And to me, initially Kendrick would look like he would be stiff if I was a director, and I would be like, "Yo, can you dance as you're saying that?" But he's not.
No,
He's so in tune with his own beat, and as he's saying it, the way he's moving, I'm like, wow, that is artistic.
Faces he chose are very important. Very, very important.
And that's the only segment that I listened to, which was amazing. But all this, the last thing I want to say before we wrap this up with a freestyle is that one of the podcaster made a really good point. He's like, the meme that went viral where it's like a gold dress, but some people see gold, some people see purple. Yeah. It's very reflective of like how we see issues right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
You could place a dress in front of girls and guys, and we can all sit on this podcast and we're like, I see a gold dress and I see a purple dress, and that is creating a lot of division online.
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, we're gonna see things differently. Beauty is subjective. The views of the world are all relative. But here at the Pool Boy Show, we're here to bring everybody together. So guys, if you enjoyed watching this episode, we want to thank you for sharing your time with us. We had an amazing guest today, Pool Boy, Sam Ashton Peasy. Before we wrap this up, we're going to end the segment with a beautiful freestyle.
Yeah. All right, never freestyle in English, but I'ma do it right now so we can end this. Yeah, people don't know I can spit in 2 language, but I'm in my lane, bitch. Okay, let's keep it going. I just keep showing off all the time, showing off all the rhymes. This is the freestyle off the top of my head. If any rapper fucks with me, man, I promise he dead. Hey, yo, most MCs could never do this, so stop playing with me, cause you sound stupid. Hey, yo, we talk about a lot of political shit. It doesn't matter, cause at the end of the day, I'm lit, and this is all I do. This is all I care about. I'm here to spit my shit, you can't kick me out. And I'ma keep going, cause I keep it positive. And this is real shit, and this is always all it is, boy. Pool Boy Show.
Pool Boy Show, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you guys so much for being with us.
Like, subscribe, share to mommy and daddy.
Have a good night, my lovers.
Peace.